Welcome back to Rising Star 2, episode 54. We are back at it, and we exhausted our ideas for songs, and so we have moved on to the next phase. And now that everybody has a band shirt, this one's going to take a little bit longer as we have to shift over to something new entirely. And so myself will move from, as I tell you a quick story, my favorite band of all time growing up was Pearl Jam, and that's kind of where we started with this journey, but we're going to come full circle now. That lasted for a good decade plus, but over that next close to decade, I think I probably moved on to Incubus as my main, at least for a period of time. But then instead of settling in on one, I never did settle in on one after that. I grew to appreciate more and more music and like more and more bands, and eventually I settled in on four. So next up for us is the final four bands, initials for three, just a name for the fourth, just so we didn't have straight initials across the board for this. Not that it's any more important than the other three, but we have Muse, the Airborne Toxic Event, Dave Matthews Band, and 30 Seconds to Mars. Or in this case, Mad Mars. Now, we are just a month away, or a little over a month away, from our album. So we are going to be pushing through, writing as many songs as we can, looking for another hit, which of course we did finally find one. We have two out of close to 250 songs. We'll see if we can find a third. We'll write what we can. We'll do what we can over the next little over a month. And then whatever we've got, the best 10, will go on to a new album. And then we are going to tour. We'll continue to write songs and test new things during that period while we're out on tour, except we're going to be on tour, so we're not going to be able to practice anything. We can write. We won't know until after the tour whether any of it's any good. And I don't know, maybe we'll give it that just a tiny window after the tour just to test those songs out and see if we find hit number 3. But that's the plan. Let's get into it. I think this is the first time I've ever put together this combination in all. It adds up to 101. We have a 6, a 35, a 35, and a 25. At the moment, we are a little thin on the parts that are there, but I have a lot of things to merge. I just merged the 1s, 3s, and 6s today. I'll be able to merge some more and hopefully have a few more pieces, but realistically, we kind of need to tear a few songs up to be able to write a lot more over the next period. Things work. We've already had to drop off to a 90, but we're able to get technical musicianship at least out of this one, as we have a 20-20-15, so missing the 10 points where we normally have one of these as a 25. Lucy Walls in Vancouver, British Columbia for a 2-day set of gigs, and then we're back to the drawing board for another couple of weeks. I did get the 2 new written songs practiced up, so they are ready to perform, and the attitudes are okay for those. Let's go ahead and clear the set list and start from scratch, of course beginning with those 2, and then we do have some new ones behind it. We'll play My Heart, our new hit, and Ain't It Fun. So 5 newest plus the hit. And then we're looking at a 30K venue, but with a 38 for the lead band, meaning we are probably not going to be anywhere near a sellout. 11,000. One of the songs gained 0 popularity. It's that bad. My Heart gets a 0.45 as the standard bearer. Nothing else gained significantly. And Crash Into Me, they absolutely hated. We're in Portland, Keith Groom Stadium. We tore up Crash Into Me. We could stick with these or play something fresh. Girls, Girls, Boys would go into that slot, and it's the same things. You know what, I might as well. Larger crowd, we'll see if one of these needs tearing up in the aftermath. 50K venue capacity, double the popularity of the band today, so there's a much better chance of a larger crowd. $25K and a much better show for us. The audience interaction almost got to a 100. My heart gaining a full point. Girls, boys definitely did all right. Gawk seems to be the weak link at 0.03, which isn't that bad, but it definitely stood out as a little bit weaker, only 9% gained. So we wrote 2, we tore up 2, we generated a few new ideas from a couple nights of gigs, but we also now have 2 weeks till the next one, and I was already kind of running low on options, but we should be able to get a minimum 4 new songs written over the couple week period, maybe 6. Back to writing 100s for the moment, and also our highest technical song so far with an 81. 2 of the bands are very well known. A third band is quite well known. The fourth band is probably the one most have not heard of, that being the Airborne Toxic event. They are essentially a one-hit wonder. Radio-wise, I found them through that one song that made the radio about 20 years ago. And they are that band for me when we were talking a handful of episodes back of I would rather hear an entire album of B+ or A- level songs where the entire album is that good, has that level of quality, but doesn't have that one song that stands out. They are that type of band, at least for me. Love their sound, but Sometime Around Midnight was that one hit 20 years ago. Came out when I was in college. Just right vibes, right time. It's a Sam Driscoll kind of day. We're going to be playing alone for this one, but it's $10 per ticket, so we'll make pretty decent money. That always gives me that little bit of an idea of where we're at. But after we had grown to nearly a 23, and then the popularity has seemed to fade off a little bit, which was surprising that it can fall and not just rise. We are clearly rising once again. We were barely above a 22 flat, and it's now slowly increased to a third of a point higher, especially with the success and the continued lift that we're getting from My Heart. With her purpose being maxed out, it was not helping us out any further. We've got a lot of new ones, but 2 of them are not ready to play. We just got them written. I've been on pattern writing 2 and then practicing spending the 3 days to get those practiced up, but also having to spend a little bit of time week by week getting everything else maxed out as well. But we want to focus on getting our 4 new ones in. I'm definitely starting to realize why I've run out of so many pieces. There's kind of that minimum threshold, and a lot of the songs we wrote were meeting that minimum threshold, and we kept them and we built and we moved on, and then I haven't even played them in like a year. They got played 2-3 times early on, and then that was it. They were established, they were keepers. We've got too many of those, so today's going to be a good opportunity to maybe thin some of this out. I think we should do fine with this gig. There shouldn't be any problems, unless somebody makes a mistake or lights fall from the sky. But hopefully maybe I can find a couple weak ones to remove, and not just from the new ones, because that's typical, right? We've got 4. I'll probably end up tearing 2 to 3 of those and keeping 1 to 2, but it's that consistency of retaining 1 or 2 and only occasionally tearing up the old ones that has suddenly got our playlist really high. We've got nearly 50 songs right now. Oh. Problem at the end, it was either in My Heart or Victorious where that occurred, so it was very late in the gig. Good XP for a solo day with only 3,000 people there. Somebody has leveled up. My heart only gained a 0.3 and Victoria's only gained a 0.02, so hard to say which one it was. It seems like my heart did not gain anywhere near what it could have gained. They did not like sometime around midnight. Did it even gain? No. Sometime around midnight gained nothing, so that's your instant tear up of the new ones. Oh, I messed up on Victorious, but then there was also a problem. So I ended up sneaking one in that had a bad attitude. I did pretty good on the others, but missed one of them. But When It Rains and Say Amen only gained 14% each, but so did a bunch of others gain. And that's where it's so hard to differentiate between all these songs, is they're all kind of, we've got probably 30 songs that are all right at that same kind of minimum threshold of, yeah, it's all right. Well, Say Amen has no buzz at all after being played multiple times. So I am going to go ahead and tear that up so we have at least two. Supermassive Black Hole has no buzz, so it could be the next one. Emergency also, was that the other one I was looking at? Did I just play it? I think I did. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and tear that one up too. And we've only played it twice, but I need to thin things out. I've got too much going on, so get rid of those zero buzz songs. And maybe I should just tear up all those ones as well. But I was the one who leveled up today, and I only have 3 places to spend points, so let's figure out where we want to double up. Performing's a 79, songwriting's an 84, practice is an 88 play skill. So our weak link is stage presence, but I don't think I need to double up on that. I think we're doing just fine on stage presence. I'm not sure we need to put any points into it anymore. We still need to get certain things up to a 100. The writing music at this point is the biggest one. However, we have tons of components. Like I just said, we have like 50 songs. We don't need 50 songs. Really, we only need 20, right? 10 for the original album and 10 more now for album number 2. We don't need albums 3, 4, 5 at the moment. There's so much there that can be torn up and go back to the drawing board on, realistically. So I don't necessarily need points really anywhere. We're getting by on play skill. We're definitely getting by on stage presence. And we're getting by on our ability to write components for songs and get to 100 quality songs. It's just we're not getting hits out of them. Besides the once in a blue moon, 2 years plus, we finally hit a second. I will go 1 into each, but beyond that, hard to say what's most beneficial. I suppose as it's our weakest in play skill, I will take 1 more point there. I was down to a single gig, and we still have about a month to get through here, so let's go ahead and get a few more gigs booked, of course, at our primary arenas. Ted Caldwell, but not the 10 ticket variety. Sam Driscoll, not $10 tickets, so we'll pass up on those two. And how booked does that make me for April now? That takes care of the next couple weeks. I do not need anything else at the moment, so back to the product endorsements. We're about to turn into that month of April. We've got 2 more days of practice to do to get the next couple of songs ready. And that brings me into April, just a couple days shy. So what do we have now? It has changed. We have nature ahead of technology. We have tyranny ahead of liberty. We have pride ahead of shame. That's going to hurt. We wrote a lot of songs with shame. A lot. So there's going to be a lot of negative attitudes right now nationally. Things we are going to have to avoid. I think I wrote some with liberty back in the day too. So that one could certainly hurt. I'm not sure I have any positive ideas at the moment. Let's look through. We still have liberty going here. So maybe we want to switch that to like nature. Or we'll turn liberty into nature. Oh, Enrico's already picked up nature. Okay, so that's a leftover from last month. Suddenly we have more using nature. In fact, I have a double there, so let's go ahead and find a second one. Tyranny? I guess we can go with tyranny. Oh, we're already on liberty. That's they're opposites of one another, so I guess we're going with pride. We're gonna switch Mackenzie's hometown pride so that we maintain good relationships amongst the band. The alternative did not last long. I just got my first or maybe second alternative song written. I think it only lasted a month. Looking over the song list by attitude, we only have 3 songs with nature right now. So that's still a new one that we've only just started using. In terms of negatives, that's a few too many. There's 8 songs right now. We've got liberty, liberty, shame, 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 liberty, shame. So definitely more with shame than with liberty, including 3 of our songs, including Her Purpose and Flaky, 2 of our biggest songs we've ever written, are currently out nationally. We're not going to be able to rely much on those at all in upcoming gigs. But we do have a couple things that stand out to me, or one thing that stands out to me. Bohemian Rhapsody has a negative idea, and it's only a buzz 1. Let's go ahead and tear it up. And then Disenchanted. Cinema Roll is as well. That's supposed to go on the album. It's April. That's supposed to go on the album. Oh, man. Bad roll for the month. Disenchanted is getting torn up too. I still have 42 songs even after tearing up quite a few. All I Ever Wanted, I can play at least. Or was that already? No, Novocaine. Novocaine's still negative. Welcome to the Black Parade is also a negative energy one with a buzz of 1. Let's go ahead and tear that up. Just trying to do ourselves a favor. I might need to just tear up Novocaine. We've never even played it. We don't know, but it remains a bad idea or bad attitude idea. I'll think about that. Well, I've gotten back to having everything merged up for the time being. Of course, we do have 4 new gigs coming up in the next week and a half, so we will generate a few new ideas, and we might tear up another song or 2 during that stretch. But with the extra ones we just tore up, we're back to a decent amount of 20s on the riffs and rhythms, plus 3 25s, and then for the melodies we've got 3 more 25s and a handful of 20s there as well. And looking at those lyrics, there's still a good amount of 35s. However, there's a whole lot of shame and liberty, which is very much negative. And I got a nature 25 and a nature 20 right now are all we have to go off. And there's no 35s to piggyback to be able to use like a nature piece right now. 2 more 100 quality songs written but not yet practiced. But we have 2 ready that we have not played before. All I Ever Wanted, Closer to the Edge. Throw in Girls, Boys. So there you go. There's a start point. Now we will test the other recent songs. And then Get When It Rains. These ones are all okay. I feel like I saw interest level climb really fast during either a second, third, or fourth song. I think it might have been Closer to the Edge. Well, it wasn't that big of a jump. It was a nice jump though. Closer to the Edge did well right there with Girls, Boys. My heart gets a .086 though, so it wasn't like that. But there was some okay quality to that. We did all right with that gig. All I ever wanted is an easy instant tear up. Clearly was not on the level of everything else, but is there something else that kind of stands out? Everything got a 0.04 or better. Again, being a bunch of okay-ish songs. I think really what I need to start doing now that it's April is I need to start narrowing down what the 10 songs are going to be. My Heart, obviously, is the top song on the album. Ignoring Attitudes, Cinema Roll, goes on the album. From here, I'd say you've got 3 that belong on there. And Girls, Girls, Boys, Closer to the Edge, even though it's brand new. Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time stand out amongst the rest. Back in Seattle for the second one here of the week on our back-to-back. We still get to play 9 songs today. That's definitely good for us. I do need to clear our set list and I need to start figuring out what we have for album-worthy songs. So I'm going to continue that particular journey. Of course, there's a mistake. This was some of our more popular songs, so trying to compare a little bit more higher end right now instead of lower end. Closer to the Edge did certainly better, so I think that's a lock. Along with My Heart and Cinema Roll, we know that those are the 3 most popular, probably. Closer to the Edge is new, so it's nice to see that we've gotten a decent song, obviously not a hit, but a decent song here recently. Spotless Hour to the Pigs was one of the most popular. Today it only got a 0.04. Oh wow, Spotless Hour is the one that had the broken guitar string, so it actually probably impacted it quite a bit. So we're in a little bit of a weird position right now. There's a lot of songs that haven't been played in a very long time, so it's hard to generate buzz when you haven't been played. Closer to the Edge is brand new. A day ago the buzz was 1, which I've been tearing those up. Today it's at a 3. It's generating decently quick. We've played it twice. It's got 0.2 popularity already. It's doing well. So buzz only tells you so much if you haven't been playing a song. My Heart's only got a 10. That's below all those album ones because fewer ears have heard it. So you got to be careful with buzz. And same with popularity, because a song can be played over and over and over and over again, and while being just okay, cumulatively acquire a lot of popularity. So there is no given, and if a song had a positive attitude for a while, maybe it did well for a while. The attitude goes away, just becomes neutral, and it's not going to do as well. So there's so many factors going in, so many variables, and with 42 songs right now, 40 of them which have 39 Novocaine's still never been played, 39 of them having been played in front of audiences, it's just hard to draw comparisons right now. 2 gigs next week is not going to be enough to decide. We're going to have to get some more gigs scheduled and continue this journey on a little bit longer on the booking local gigs to find what the 10 songs are. At this point, I'm certain of 3. That's it. I do not need to be playing things off the old album right now. I do need to be playing the other 30 or so that we have to make that determination. And then at the same time, the complication of pumping out new songs and practicing that up as well too in between gigs it's a complicated process for the next little bit. But that's what we need to do over the next, I'd say, 1 month. Maybe it's going to be May before we go ahead and get that album written as I select what songs go in. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.